Hi, my name's Joanna Green. I work at the Office of the Public Defender of Indiana. I've worked there for 33 years. I started in the capital unit and have also done non-capital post-conviction work and juvenile work.
Hi, I'm Ashlyn Orr. I'm honored to have received the Gault Award. I work with Joanna at the State Public Defender's Office, and I'm a bit newer. I've been here for the past almost 4 years.
Hello, my name is Jacob Purcell. I'm a Deputy Public Defender at the Tippecanoe County Public Defender's Office right across the street. I am honored to be the 2026 recipient of the Zebulon Baird Award.
So my name is Tanya Mata. I am one of the ones who got the Teresa Campbell Award. I work for Diane Haig Burton. It's Haig Burton Law. It's like I don't expect anything for what I'm doing. You know, if we come in and we have somebody with a case or whatever and the case goes good, you know, I don't expect them to come in and be like, you know, praise me and think that's not what I want. I just want to be able to be that silent person that gets to do it and be happy about the outcome of it. So when Diane told me that I won the award, I was kind of like shocked, and I was like, you didn't have to do that. You know, I don't need that recognition. And
When I was in law school, I just knew that I wanted to use my law degree to help other people. I couldn't have imagined myself doing corporate law or tax law or something. So I interviewed with public interest groups and public defender offices and was fortunate enough to interview with the capital unit at the public defender's office. I really was not aware of the number of men on Indiana's death row at that time. And I didn't go to law school to do death penalty work, but I got the job, I accepted it, and it has been an amazing experience.
So 2 experiences really drew me to public defense. I did not go to undergrad thinking I wanted to be a public defender or even a lawyer. I was a research assistant at the IU Public Policy Institute, and I had the honor of conducting focus groups pursuant to one of our research projects where we got to interview public defenders in Marion County. I was really impressed with both their descriptions of their job, but also their intelligence and their commitment to justice. So that kind of set me on the path where I was considering public defense. I went to law school, but really what convinced me to do public defense was my older brother Chuck had a severe mental health crisis and was arrested and charged with multiple felonies. And luckily for him, he had an amazing public defender who worked miracles for him and was able to get a really great result and had a life-changing impact for me and my family. So now when I'm having tough days, I think about the work that his public defender did for him, and I try to emulate her.
So I came into law as kind of a later in life career. I got my start as a middle school special education teacher, and I started to see these really unfortunate trends that a lot of us who work with youth see of our kids kind of being underserved and then pushed into carceral spaces for services. So that was kind of my impetus for going to law school. And then in law school, I had the privilege of working with a youth public defender's office in St. Louis, and that sort of sealed the deal for me on the youth public defense train. But I always wondered, you know, what happens when we don't win, which in public defense, right, you're definitely gonna see that. What happens to those kids next? And so it's really such a privilege to be doing post-conviction work because we get to be with our clients when they've seen those outcomes of what's next and, you know, what lies before them while they're in the Department of Corrections. So it's a real privilege to have kind of stumbled my way into this work through various life circumstances.
I I started working for the courthouse in the clerk's office, and from that point on, it was just something that really caught me, and I wanted to continue, so I just moved up until I worked for the judge for a little while, and then decided to go over on the other side of the fence and help with an attorney.
She was taking care of her son who had short bowel syndrome, so he had a myriad of medical complications throughout his short life, and unfortunately everything culminated in one night where she disagreed with what the emergency department was doing for her son, and so she really wanted to get him the care she thought he deserved, and she thought he would be better served elsewhere. So by taking her son out of the hospital against medical advice, unfortunately he ended up passing away several hours later, and she was held accountable under the neglect statute for that. And so meeting someone like Robin, who has gone through this immense trauma, and then the legal system has added further trauma to her experience and grieving the loss of a child, it was an absolute privilege to kind of meet her in that space and be able to walk with her through proving that she had no intention of harming her child, was just trying to do truly what she thought as a trained professional in his care was best for him. And sort of the bittersweet culmination of it all was that we were able to negotiate an agreement to get her released immediately, starting the day after Mother's Day.
One of my first cases was our client went by the name Bomani, and we did get his death sentence vacated. I also think he was wrongfully convicted, and we fought on to try to get a new trial for him for many years. He did die of a heart attack in prison in general population. I had kept in touch with him all these years. A few years ago, we had a memorial service for him at his aunt's house, and buried his ashes underneath a tree that she bought to represent his life growing and rising up toward heaven. And so I guess he was the client that remained in my life the longest and probably made the biggest impact on me.
I was appointed a case of a woman who had already been found guilty at a bench trial. When I reviewed the case and the facts, it seemed like she had been the victim of some pretty egregious police harassment. And worse than that, there was a massive unraised suppression issue that kind of loomed over her bench trial that had not been addressed by the court or any of the parties. So I had a bit of a conundrum. I wasn't sure whether just to proceed to mitigation or whether to try to find a way to raise the sentencing issue again. And I was encouraged by some members of my office who told me, you have to file this motion. So I ended up filing a motion to vacate the judgment and try to relitigate the suppression issue. Unsurprisingly, the trial judge wasn't super happy with that decision, but he heard me out. I didn't win that motion, but he saw how much I cared and how much of an injustice I thought this case was, and I think that led to her getting a positive outcome. So the big takeaway from that case for me, especially starting out as a new public defender, was even if your motion is not granted, if the judge is not listening to you, or even if sometimes your client is not taking your advice, you can still make a very positive impact just by showing how much you care.
I think whenever Diane walks into the office after a hearing and, she's excited because, we maybe won or we got what we were wanting or, something like that. It kind of makes me feel good knowing that I had a little bit of a part of that, and helping somebody in whatever way that they needed to be helped at that time.
Something that I find a lot of solace in that keeps me going forward is just trying to find little ways to engage with my clients as human beings, to try to reaffirm their dignity and their humanity. I also can't go without saying that I lean on my incredible office. We have an incredible group of public defenders and support staff at the Tippecanoe County Public Defender's Office, and I lean on all of them every day for not just advice, but support and encouragement.
If anyone is looking for a therapist, please come find me at Annual Update. I have a great recommendation. And I am also very tapped into, I foster senior dogs. You know, having something outside of work where dogs are very gracious if you make any mistakes, or, you know, they're happy to see you no matter what sort of state you arrive.
You do have to take time away from work. When I started, I always felt guilty because I was fully in the Capital Unit at that time. And there's no end to what any of us do. You can always work. You're never done. You have to take care of yourself so you don't burn out.
I like wearing unusual ties every now and again, and writing with my fountain pen and picking a cool font. All of those little things keep me going.
You know, walk away, go on vacation, and take care of yourself.
Everybody needs a little compassion, and everybody needs somebody that's willing to kind of just step out and help. And that's the kind of person I am. I want to be able to help people no matter what. Second chances, looking at the bigger picture, not just something that happened in a short time frame.
My advice to not just young lawyers, but all lawyers, is to really listen to your clients and be patient with them. Sometimes forget how little our clients and their families understand about the system, the words we use. A client will keep bringing something up over and over, and it's easy to get frustrated with them and think, why don't they understand that just doesn't matter? Take the time, listen, explain. Try not to be a lawyer when you're talking to your clients.
Just be a human.
Be a human.
Yeah.
It's the most important case in the world to them.
And always will be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really do think, even though it takes a lot more effort for some rather than others, trying to find mentors wherever you can. I know that IPDC has a mentor network that they can tap people into, because learning from the people who have sustainably been doing the work, I think, is the best way to learn.
Well, the number one thing, and I've discussed this with my friends and mentors, is just try to lead an interesting life. Find ways to engage outside of the law, and try to import any wisdom that you can bring from your life outside of the law into the law. You can tell when a lawyer has led an interesting life and when they haven't. And it shows, I think, in their practice day to day. So just try to lead an interesting life.